Hi, it's Bill Needham, the home buyer guy with Remax 4000 in Grand Junction.
And Elisa McClaskey, Bill's assistant. And today we're here to share with you the major issues that both buyers and sellers face when they're either purchasing or selling a home, and how we help take the worry out of that process.
Yeah, we are talking both to sellers and buyers today. And we'll start right now with buyers. The big problem for buyers today is low inventory, the lack of houses to buy. There's just an awful lot of competition out there, and it absolutely is a seller's market. And as far as with the buyers, we know that market's hot now, and so we do know how to help you get the results that you're looking for.
And what are some things specifically that the buyers can do to help their situation in a seller's market?
Okay, the biggest thing they can do, number one, is be prepared. And by being prepared, they absolutely have to have pre-approval if they are going to get a loan. And if they actually are going to do a cash transaction, then they will need a proof of funds from their bank or whomever where the funds are. They also do want to be ready to put forth the earnest money for a contract. I know I've had some out-of-town buyers before that forgot their checkbook. We were able to still get around that situation, but it certainly is a good idea to bring your checkbook so that you will be able to write the check for the earnest money.
For those who don't know how much earnest money might be, what kind of costs are they looking at?
Earnest money can be anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000. It depends a lot, obviously, on the price of the home.
Okay.
Typically, the listing agent and the seller will come up with a dollar amount that they feel is appropriate, and they will give that information to us or to me through our multiple listing service. However, we actually can make the offer with any amount of earnest money that we think is appropriate. In this competitive market that we're in today, sometimes it actually makes sense to put up more earnest money than what they're asking for, just to show how strongly we want that property and how strong the buyer is.
Right, over maybe another offer that's coming in or something like that. And kind of going on along with that, something that you provide to a buyer is your negotiation experience, both in this industry and then in your past as well too. You've been negotiating contracts for a long time.
Yep. Sometimes I kind of hate to say I've been doing it for a long time, but I did negotiate my first multi-million-dollar contract back in the 70s. So I've been doing it for quite a while, and I like to think that I'm pretty darn good at it.
I've seen it. I would agree with that too.
Thank you.
What about sellers? What are some of the biggest challenges for sellers in this market?
Biggest challenge for sellers today is actually knowing what the market is like today. You need to know what that best price is. Mm-hmm. I just recently worked with one client that had thought that their home should have been priced at a certain amount. I won't bring up the dollar amount right now, but after we discussed, I said, well, that market, especially the area that you live in, has been really hot for the last 6 to 9 months. And frankly, you were too low on the price that you were looking for. Mm-hmm. And so we did, I did a complete CMA competitive market analysis for them, and we actually sold it in a matter of just a couple of days at 10% higher than what they had been originally thinking that the house might be priced for.
Yeah, well, I had a little bit of that same experience. I sold my house a year ago, and I used Remax 4000 before I knew you. Mm-hmm. But I also sold my house for what I was going to list it, and my realtor suggested that I increase the price as well too.
Yeah,
so,
and it's been even the market's been even stronger in the last year. So
right,
it's
continues
even more
to increase, doesn't it?
Today you've just got to keep your finger on the pulse of the market, because it has been so strong.
Right, and you do that. You're checking the market every morning. We're driving around. We're in houses. You have your marketing meeting. We're very aware of what the market is doing immediately at this point in time.
We absolutely are. There's
Right,
no doubt about
right.
that.
And all of those things together is, we'd like to just reiterate, we take the worry out of all those things. This day and age, you have a lot of things to do on a daily basis, and you can't be an expert at everything. So especially with a transaction that is probably the biggest dollar amount that you'll ever incur in your life. Yep. And then just all the other stuff that you have going on, let the experts take care of it and take the worry out, right?
That's correct. We want to take the worry out for sure.
Yeah.
Give you a little bit of information too about us. My degree actually is in engineering management. Before I began in the helping people buy and sell real estate 6 years ago, I was involved in the wastewater and water treatment equipment. And I had worked, in the housing market indirectly way back when, working with developers as they were putting in new subdivisions and that type of thing. So I've been involved in the real estate market for quite a while, but just for the last 6 years, in the direct assistance to people to buy and sell property.
Right. And my degree is in environmental science. I worked in that industry for a little while. I cleaned up gas station leaks. And then, very interesting. But then the oil and gas industry is pretty strong in Grand Junction at times, and it happened to be kind of working on a boom, and I got in just right before that, and so I was in the oil and gas selling filters for that industry. Biological clock started ticking, and I wanted to have a son, so I now have a beautiful 5-year-old son named Dragon.
Yes.
Yeah, and
what a character.
Well, he's the best, but I'm not biased at all.
No.
And he's going to kindergarten here in the fall, and so doesn't need mom quite so much anymore. And so I'm getting back into the working world, and I just really enjoy helping people, and so this is where I landed.
Yep, and I've been pleased that she's been here now for just over a year.
Just over a year.
And been a real plus to my operation, that's for sure.
Yeah, thanks, Bill.
A couple other things that we can help, we can do to improve the buyer situation. We see some buyers at times not want to align themselves maybe with one particular realtor. They just kind of want to jump around. They don't know who they want to work with, or they think maybe they want to work with the listing realtor, which frankly I think in most cases is a incorrect decision. But so I think it's very important that you do find a realtor that you can work with, that you have confidence in, that will represent you to their best, and align yourselves with them. I often work as a buyer agent, and do recommend that we discuss that possibility. Another area too is that sometimes they don't want to get pre-qualified. Have to explain to them that in today's market, and frankly even when the market was slow, most people would not even consider an offer that did not have some type of pre-qualification letter or some proof of funds. And so it is imperative that we get the pre-qualification. If you don't have a lender that you're familiar with, or even if you do, we know some lenders in here around this area. We like to work with local lenders if at all possible.
Yeah.
It just makes the transaction go a lot more smoothly, and typically the listing agents and sellers have more confidence in the local lenders rather than somebody that's off somewhere on the internet. And they've got competitive products, and so I don't think there's any area of concern there. And so, we do have people that we can put you in contact with, right, and go from there.
Lots of contractors, actually. We've both been in the valley for between 15 and 20 years, yep. And so we have lots of contractors that we can put you in touch with. Lots of resources, in the real estate industry if it branches out from anything that you need outside of this office, which is very rare because we have such good people within the office. But what is something that buyers are doing that we see is a good thing for them? What is something that they're doing that is benefiting their situation?
Well, they are doing a lot of preliminary work, I guess I would call it, on the internet. so they have maybe a little bit of an idea of what it is they're looking for.
What
But
they
often-
want, right? They
Well-
have to narrow that down to some degree, you know, and be realistic about
They
how
do.
much they're able to afford.
They do,
Mm-hmm.
and so so they need to work that out, but also they need to then define and decide, what is absolutely necessary instead of maybe something that they would like to have. I mean, I'd like to have a swimming pool sometimes. It's hot like it is now, but
Right,
it certainly
right.
isn't necessary for my requirements. So anyway, we can help define that situation. In
Right.
fact, when I'd like to do what I call a slice and dice with buyers. In
Yeah.
that, I have them come into the office. We'll spend typically takes maybe 45 minutes to an hour and a half. That we will actually take the complete MLS database and we will slice and dice that data to show them what is available
Yep.
and to show by varying their requirements or their price points and that type of thing what it will do to the choices that they might have.
Right.
So that's always a pretty good situation, I think.
Right, right. What are sellers doing out there that isn't always beneficial for selling a house? How can we help guide them to better things to be doing?
Sellers, probably the biggest thing, well, there's probably two main things I can think of right now. Certainly have more. I actually have a list of things we do for sellers. I think that the total came up to 103 or 150. Anyways, an awful lot.
Yep.
It kind of amazed me that we actually do as much as we do. But anyway, the sellers, two main things I think are important is number one is having the house in show-ready condition. You want to have
Absolutely.
it as ready for the buyer to move in as possible, if at all that can be done. Again, recent seller I had, she just had it spotless and had done some upgrades that really made the house look extremely nice. And
Eliminated the clutter. That's
eliminated the clutter.
You know, how you live in your house is definitely different than how you sell your house when you're presenting it.
It is. I mean, at times with that clutter, we might recommend that you actually store some of those items in a temporary facility so that the house maybe looks a little bit bigger
Right.
to the buyer than what it might have without that
Right.
clutter or with the clutter in there.
Right.
And then the other thing is pricing the house properly. Some sellers think, well, we'll just throw it out there and put a price on it that's way high. We can always negotiate the price. Well, while
Not
yes,
always the best way to go.
it's not the best way to go. I mean, the fact is if you actually price the house too high, you won't even get people to come to look at the house. They just look at it and
Right.
say, well, it's overpriced or it's out of their price range, that type of thing.
Won't come up on a search, for some people too, if they're searching for a certain price range. So yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So we do help guide you in that area. We give you what the competition is out there. I mean, there are a few other houses for sale out there for sure, and so we want to see how yours compare to those houses.
Right.
So anyway, very very important.
Right. Another set of clients that we see kind of increasing is people coming in from out of the area, even out of state. We have a lot of people that we're helping in that, and it adds a little bit extra element to when you're dealing with someone from out of state. Can be a little bit more complicated, so having a realtor is even more important in that I think instance.
I think so. It is very interesting. We're certainly seeing a lot of people moving over here from Denver for a little bit slower lifestyle, less traffic. Don't have to. Denver's just getting big. It's that simple. But so we've had clients just in the last several months. We've had people from Virginia, Wyoming, Georgia. Actually had one a little bit farther back from Flagstaff, Arizona. But some of these people are not really familiar with the area, but they read about what great offerings we have as far as
Right.
the weather and the outdoor activities and that type of thing. But so they don't really know the town. So typically what I do when they come in for the first showing setup is I will set up multiple showings, but I will have them in different areas of the town.
Right.
So that way, that first day, not only will I get a good feel for what it is exactly they're looking for, we can then bring in the area of town that they like better, that best fits their needs.
Right.
And so hopefully from the second day going forward, we'll be able to concentrate just on those areas that particular area that they really do like.
Right. Well, I know of a couple of past clients that I can think of here just recently, and they were moving. One was out of state, and then one was just coming over from Denver. But they needed help removing appliances from their home. They wanted to add appliances, and they weren't going to be here, and so we helped with that removal of the appliances. Another woman works out of her home, and she needed some remodeling done so that she could have an office within her garage, and that also was a factor when she was looking for a home too. So even a 3-2 would work. A 3-2-2, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage. It needed to be an oversized 2-car garage, or it needed to be a 3-car garage. So
right.
Those are the kind of things that she's not going to know if that works. And so both of us, we went and we toured the homes and we took video for her so that she could see the video. And then with the shop, we got a contractor for her for the shop. And so just those little things like that make the process so much easier and take the worry out there.
Absolutely.
Again. Yeah.
There it is, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And on the selling side, when we're working with sellers and listing the property, there's some things that we do that isn't done by all the realtors. We do. I like to do typically a Matterport presentation or filming. Basically, what a Matterport is a 3D VR system where people can watch this and basically walk through the house, while they're sitting in their comfort at their old home. And so they a lot of times can tell whether that property may or may not work for them to see it firsthand. Right. We will take professional photography. That can make a large difference in how the house shows up on the internet. We've got property website individually for all those homes. And we will at times also do aerials if the property is just right. And we've got one up now up in the mountains from here, like 45 minutes away, that was like 12 acres. But to get a feel for the land, we had an aerial drone take photography film of the unit. It shows it exceedingly well.
And those are all at your cost. That is no cost to the seller at all.
Yeah, those are all my cost, but ultimately that results hopefully in the highest possible price sold, so that the seller can get the highest net from their property.
Right. And quickly too. That's always a good thing as well. If we can get the house sold quicker, usually that's a plus, so you can move on with your life.
Absolutely, that is always a good thing. And some of these things I've learned from the extra education that I've pursued. I have my CRS and ABR credentials. Those both are based on having taken additional courses, most of them with instructors in person that have many years of experience in the real estate market.
And if I recall, CRS is only 3% of the realtors out there, so it's a pretty distinguished credential.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that, because I am extremely proud of the CRS designation, which is 3% of the people in the entire country, only 3% of the realtors in the entire country have that. So that's a very, very exclusive situation.
Right.
Also, it does help us perhaps if we have a seller that we're working with leaving our area. I oftentimes can refer them to another CRS in another part of the country, so that they know that they'll have good representation over there where they maybe don't even know a realtor. So that's always a big plus also.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. What's the best way for clients to reach out to us and get in touch with us? Hopefully you've gleaned some information from the video and shown what we can do for you. And so how do they get in touch?
Well, easiest way obviously is to give us a telephone call. There should be information down below as far as phone number to call us, and we can set up a phone interview and begin the process there. Then from there, it's just a matter of setting up a meeting. Again, I like to have that in-person meeting as soon as possible, and so that would be something further we could go to.
Right. And it'd be great if you contacted us as soon as possible as well, because we do like to take on a finite amount of clients so that we can give 150% service. Our goal is really to create a relationship with our clients that we will hopefully maintain for the rest of your life, if not just the amount of time that you live here. You're probably going to enjoy it as much as we do and want to stay. We have a fast-moving market. If you're ready to go, it needs to be done now, because it's the houses are moving quickly.
Yeah, that it is. Other ways also you can get in contact with us is go to my website, www.thehomebuyerguide.com. There will be email contact forms. Of course, there'll be phone numbers again. There is ways also to through the internet set up appointments and that type of thing, so we can talk and meet together.
And on the website, you can search the MLS, which is more accurate than some of the other websites that are out there. There's also articles about the different areas of the valley,
right.
So you can, do a little bit of research on your own as far as what the Grand Valley has to offer.
Correct.
And of course, contact us if you have any questions about that. And then there's videos about buying a house and selling a house, and what is earnest money, and some different questions that people might have, different information about the different loans that are out there as well too. So just a wealth of information on the website.
That is correct. We like to provide hopefully more information than you'll ever need. But if you do have any questions, obviously you can get in contact with us, and we'll get those answered to you, right away. Or if I don't have the answer, we'll certainly find them for you.
Absolutely.
So, it is a hot market. We are seeing multiple offers, oftentimes full price or overpriced. So whether you are buying or selling, I think it would behoove you to get in touch with us as soon as possible. And again, we'll say, at the Home Buyer Guide, we take the worry out whether you are a buyer or a seller.
Absolutely. Look forward to hearing from you. Have a wonderful day.
Yep, do have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.